7th, and it is day 7 of Vlogmas. So in today's Vlogmas, I wanted to do something a little different, and I wanted to talk to you about my best Christmas and my worst Christmas. So when I was thinking about doing this vlog, I was trying to think about, when I was younger, if I could pick out my best Christmas. And for the most part, in all my 57 years, for those of you that don't know, I am 57, I've had some pretty good Christmases. My parents always pretty much bought me whatever was on my list. I never had a lot of things on my list, but I always had a list of about maybe 5, 6 things, and then my mother would always buy extra from that. It was mostly clothes, purses, some jewelry. One year, I asked for an adding machine. I don't even remember why I asked for an adding machine. I just know I asked for one and I got one. I'll never forget that. One year, I think I was in high school, I asked for a new stereo, and I got that. So for the most part, my Christmases were pretty good. I stopped believing in Santa when I was 9. I don't know if that's a late bloomer type thing or if that's the normal age that kids stop believing in Santa. I've never asked any of my friends when they stopped believing. I never asked any of my cousins, so I really don't have anything to compare it to. So, so because I've had, for the most part, in my, younger days, a pretty good, Christmas, no horror stories to talk about. As far as, anything really bad happening. And, as you get older in your life, you work and you're able to buy things for yourself that you would like. So you don't always have to wait for Christmas to get the things that you want. So as you get older, at least for me, as I got older, my Christmas list changed a little bit. It was always things that I needed for, my apartment, or if I needed like an oil change, my parents would, pay for that. Or if I needed new work clothes, my parents always bought me work clothes or new shoes to go with my work clothes. If I needed new sneakers, nothing. I didn't ask for electronics. I didn't ask for jewelry. It was always stuff that I needed. If I wanted anything, I always went out and could buy that stuff that I wanted for myself. And yeah, I could buy the stuff that I needed for myself also, but I figured my mother needed something to put, to have for a Christmas list. So my Christmas list, as I got older, got shorter. We still had the decorations put out, and we still had the Christmas cookies. My mother still made her Christmas cookies. She used to put out a Christmas village, and she loved doing that. We put out our tree. We would put decorations out outside. My mother made Christmas what it was for my brother and I. My father is not a big holiday kind of person. So when it came to Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, it was my mother that did all the work. She wanted the Christmas decorations out. She was the one that went Christmas shopping for the gifts. She was the one that went Christmas shopping at the grocery store for all the food. And she made sure that the decorations got put up. Her and my brother would put out the stuff. So as I was thinking about what best Christmas story I wanted to talk about, I realized that the most heartfelt Christmases for me, although the ones with my parents and brother were great and memorable, I have to pick the ones that were with my grandparents in the Bronx as the most cherished memories for me. And I'm not going to pick just one because they were all wonderful. My grandfather died in 79. My grandmother died in 1983. And when I say my grandparents, I mean my dad's parents. I never knew my mother's parents. Her mother died in 1943, and her father died in 1964. I was 2 years old, and I don't remember him at all. So the only grandparents I knew were my dad's parents, and we were at their house just about every weekend when we lived in New York. And and then of course we were always there for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and we would go on a Friday, spend the weekend, or whatever day the holiday fell on. We were always there, and my grandparents they lived in a two-family house that they co-owned with my aunt and uncle. My aunt and uncle lived up on the top floor. My grandparents lived on the main floor. They had a two-bedroom apartment, and in their second bedroom was their dining room table. And when we would stay the weekend, that's where I slept on a cot. And my grandmother would always open the window in the bedroom that I slept in. Even in the wintertime, she would always open it, and open it about that much. I never got cold in the winter. And one of the memories that I have, which probably seem like a dumb memory to some people, or a memory like, why would that bring back memories for you? My grandparents lived in the Bronx. They lived near Bruckner Boulevard, and the Cross Bronx Expressway was right there. So in the middle of the night, you could hear all the cars and the semi-trucks going by. So I can remember that. I can actually hear it. When I think about it, I can actually hear the cars. So that's a wonderful memory, and it may not seem like the greatest memory, but it brings back fond memories. When I hear trucks going by, even when I smell diesel fuel. You're probably saying, like, diesel fuel? Well, when the tractor trailer trucks would drive by, you could smell it from my grandparents' bedroom that I was sleeping in. And so when I smell diesel fuel, it reminds me of that time. And to be honest, those times were wonderful for me. I loved my grandparents very, very much. I cherished them. My grandfather used to put me to bed, and he would tell me, it's time to shuffle off to Buffalo. And I miss that, My grandmother, when she would cook, we always had the Italian meal and the American meal. We would have one, wait a few hours, and then we would have the second one. And when she would have the Italian meal, she always put out fruit cocktail. So whenever I eat fruit cocktail, it always brings a smile to my face. It just warms my heart and just makes me feel so good inside to remember all those things. And so when I think about a good Christmas or a good Christmas memory, it's those memories from when I was a child at my grandparents' house that have the most meaning for me. And I never want to lose that. I never want to forget those. And I'm always going to cherish that time in my life. So now for the bad Christmas. And that was 2010. And that was the year that I realized that my mother had dementia, or was developing dementia. Prior to that, I really just thought that she was just becoming a little forgetful, like we all do when we reach a certain age. I'm guilty of it myself. I'll be like, what was the name of that whatever, or where did I put my pen, or, whatever. And but I noticed it in 2010, and I noticed it even more so around Christmas time. And I would ask her every day at the beginning of, I think it was December. I actually had noticed it prior to that at Thanksgiving. We had one of my cousins and his wife had come to visit us. And I sort of noticed that she was getting a little bit worse then, especially when it came time to make dinner. She didn't help make dinner. It was up to my dad and me to do the dinner, which was fine. But my mother acted like she didn't know how to cook. But she played it off like, oh, I want to spend time, with my nephew and his wife. And I didn't really think about it until it was time to start doing shopping for Christmas. Because normally my mother had started Christmas shopping in October. And I thought it was very strange that she didn't start at that time that year. So when December rolled around, I started asking her, when do you want to go Christmas shopping? Oh, we'll go tomorrow, was always her response. Or, I don't want to go today, let's go next week. Or, I don't want to go today, let's go tomorrow. Or, it was always an excuse not to go. We did manage to put up the Christmas tree, but that's the only decorations we put up that year. My mother did not put up her Christmas village. I'd asked my mother if she was going to do her Christmas cookies, and she pretty much said, oh, I'll make them soon. And then she never did. And to be honest, when I realized what the issue was, I stopped asking her, because I knew that she was not going to be, it wasn't that she was going to be capable of doing it. It's just that she just wasn't going to remember to do it or remember how to do it. And so I just stopped asking. And I stopped asking to go Christmas shopping. And I said to myself, you know what? And at first I wasn't not going to do anything for Christmas. I became so sad, and I started crying in my room that my mother, Christmas just wasn't going to be the same anymore. And at that point, I loved Christmas. I still do to a certain point, but I think because I don't celebrate it really anymore, I just say it's another day to me, and that's really how I feel it right now. And so I think it was probably a week before Christmas, and I said to myself, you know what? If my mom has dementia, she probably doesn't have that many years left to live. So I want to make this last, if this is going to be a last Christmas, I want to make it the best Christmas ever. Actually, it was 2011. Sorry. It was 2011, because she passed away in 2012. I said, I want to make this, if it's going to be her last Christmas, or if it's going to be the last Christmas that she remembers, I want to make it a good Christmas for her. Now, I'm not a cook. I don't claim to be a cook. I can cook, but I don't think I'm very good at it. So I didn't even attempt to make the Christmas cookies. But my dad and I did cook Christmas Day. But a week before Christmas, I decided to go shopping. Now, I don't remember why my brother didn't go Christmas shopping. I never asked him. I never asked him to go. And he never asked me, like, hey, are we ever going Christmas shopping? But I took it upon myself to go and buy little things for my dad, my brother, and my mother. Christmas Day rolled around. We normally open presents at midnight. But my mother was sleeping, and so, and my brother never said anything because he thought that there was no Christmas presents. So I said, okay, I'll wait until the morning. Morning came, and I gave the presents. I gave presents to my dad, and of course his response was, "You shouldn't have done that. You should have saved your money." But he did say thank you. I called my mother and brother out to the living room because that's where we had our tree, and I gave them their Christmas presents. My brother looked at me and he realized, oops, I screwed up. I should have gone Christmas shopping. I should have taken it upon myself. Even if my sister did, I should have taken it upon myself to get Christmas presents for everybody. So you could see it in his face that he knew. He was like, uh-oh, I think I messed up here. And my mother, my dear, sweet, wonderful mother, she started silently crying to herself, silently crying. And I said to her, Mom, what's wrong? And she said, I forgot Christmas. And she said, because I forgot Christmas, you don't have anything to open. I said, and I remember saying to her, it's okay, Mom, I don't need anything to open. I don't. I said, and it's not about that. It's about making Christmas great for you. And I really felt that because my mother had made Christmas great for me all my life. So I wanted to do something for her. After we opened up the presents, I did go in my room and I did cry a little bit because it felt weird. It really truly did. It felt very strange not having anything to open. And it did make me sad. I have to admit, it really truly did. But I got over it, and I got past it. And I was just happy that I made my mom's last Christmas, because that was her last Christmas. I made it wonderful for her. She did cry a little bit, but after that, she was all smiles. She enjoyed her presents, and she enjoyed dinner, and it was a wonderful day. And you can't ask for anything better than that. And so I was glad that I was able to do that for her. And I try not to think about that day, just because, it's sad that, my mother was affected so badly in her memory, and that it was her last Christmas. But I don't focus on that. I focus on the good memories, and I focus on all the good and happy times that we've all had in our lives together. I just want to say I'm so sorry for my voice. I'm starting to lose my voice, and so I just want to apologize. I know I sound so hoarse. But anyway, that's the end of day 7 for Vlogmas, and I hope that everyone is having a wonderful weekend, a wonderful, safe Saturday evening, and I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas day 8. Oh my God, it's day 8 already. Wow. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.